Hello, hello. All right, this is going to be a somewhat controversial reading just because I understand how much ire has been, that Trump Republicans have caused amongst the rest of us. However, I don't inherently hate all Republicans. One of the things I love about astrology is that it says we are all supposed to be different. And it is the consensus that is for the best of everyone, that's what we should strive for. And of course that's not easy, so you get wild swings left and right and all that sort of thing. I don't agree with them, but there are a lot of people I don't agree with. But I do not automatically hate someone if they say, I'm a Republican, especially if they are saying that they're a Republican but they are ashamed to be a Republican now, or they say they've left the party. The people who have left the Republican Party because of Trump, they're still Republican. They still have views I don't agree with. And that's just how it is. But they are out there. There are some out there that you can actually talk to, and they're intelligent, and you could actually understand where they're coming from, and you don't agree with them, and it's like, okay, well, see you at the ballot box. It goes along with the idea that when it comes to election day, I want everyone to vote. I've never put bumper stickers on my car, and if I did, I don't know that it would necessarily be for a specific candidate, but I wouldn't hesitate for a minute to wear a button or use a bumper sticker, with some kind of promotional thing that said, please vote. So I realized that there's reason to be really angry. It's the Trumpies. It's the Trumpies that are just the worst of the worst of the worst. And the Republican Party, it's like they caught a disease and then they decided that they weren't going to take their vitamin C, and they weren't going to try to get a good night's sleep, try to get better. They just were like, well, it's just overcoming us, so we'll just go with it and see what we can get out of it. So they've looked for whatever they can gain. Meanwhile, this has ravaged their body politic. What is going to happen to the GOP? Because I know we're also, in 2024, Pluto's going to go into Aquarius. It is going to kick up anything that is weak, dying, or bad that is Aquarian. And that's going to be in humanitarian things, technological things, but also the kind of far left politics. With Republicans, they're workaholics, skyscrapers, so it's far right. Well, not even far right politics. I mean, this is just mob boss garbage from Trump. But I'm expecting Democrats to come into power, and probably something's going to go wrong in there just because Pluto's going to start plowing through Aquarius in 2024, and it's just what happens. But I'm still voting Democrat. Still voting Democrat. And what will come, and we'll make the best of it. Go back to Billy Joel's song, "We Didn't Start the Fire." There's always something. It's how you respond to it. It's how you react to it. It's how you hold on to your values. Most importantly, it's how you treat yourself and the people around you. And please note the emphasis is not on how you treat yourself, Mr. Trump. It's how you treat yourself and the people around you. Future of the GOP. Well, that's America. And that's all I'm getting. Oh, this is America. Okay. Okie dokie. In the past, they've gone too far into, they're losing members. They're aging out. Their people are aging out. Their policies, their emphasis on the judgment definitely coming. Base of the reading. Trying to woo new voters, but there's so much corruption that's been uncovered. This is actually the card for, this is feeling like Mueller, and he's a symbol of the corruption that's been uncovered against the Republicans. Above the reading. And boneheaded policies. That's what that feels like. Absolutely boneheaded, selfish, stupid policies. That's exactly what that feels like. These are mistakes they've made. It's what's weakened them. Your future, and they're gonna take a bath because of Trump. And the strength is above them. The Republicans, women, power of women coming up and just giving them their comeuppance. So environment, Democrats everywhere. Landslide victories, hopes and fears, fearing that their party really is doomed. What other people see? Well, they from the outside they look like better than what they're fearing, but that's pretty normal. Final outcome. Pelosi. Oh, they're going to attack Pelosi. They're going to try to link Democrats with Pelosi because Pelosi isn't popular. I don't know. Pelosi seems pretty popular these days. It's time for the Democrats' time in the sun. The pendulum swings. Back in the 80s, trying to be a Democrat in the 80s, yeah. I wasn't old enough to vote then, but yeah, I remember well what it was like. The pendulum swings. And this is the way it's swinging, and it's gonna be like the same, only worse, because they got into bed with Trump. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry I said those words. I'm so sorry I strung those words together. Blah. Yeah, the Trump, the secrets, I'm just getting over and over in my head, next, the elections, they're just gonna take a bath, meaning brutal. Shellacking, Obama said. And it's Trump holdover. It's gonna damage them. And then the Fox News is still gonna keep on lying to people. And they can still play on people's fears. It's energy shrinking. Yeah, really Democrats' time in the sun. The thing you have to remember about, in politics in most Western countries, there are a whole bunch of different parties. And there are elections, and then you have to form coalitions among certain parties that work together, and that's how you form a government. Well, in America, basically, it's like, oh, well, there are just two parties. I mean, there's some other parties, but they're non-existent by comparison with other countries. It's really Democrats on the left, Republicans on the right, and they fight. The reality is, if you look more closely, it's the same kind of thing. It's because you have people of different on this political spectrum, even within the parties. So it's almost like they do split off into groups, and they just call themselves under this one umbrella name. There's some people who are independent, but Democrats, their power is going to mushroom, which is not necessarily a good thing. We could definitely use some serious improvements, but any extremes in politics start becoming problematic. They just do. I don't like their thing. If I was queen, national kitty holiday. But if I was queen, of course there are things I would say. I want this, this, and this, and this. But I live in a democracy, and I want people to vote. And I understand there are people who are going to vote against my interests. And for many years, my vote was canceled out by people around me, and that's okay. As long as you're voting, as long as people are as long as the democracy lives, we'll make it through. And I don't have to be right. I don't have to win every single time. But it hurts. It hurts when policies don't go through and then people are hurt. Hurts me, hurts my heart. They will be there, but they will be much diminished. Because it's going to be, is it what I'm feeling, is it going to be a bigger, wilder swing to the left than we had in the 80s with Reagan republicanism? Utopian ideals. Trying to align different parts of life. Definitely going to be innovation, taking advantage of technologies. This isn't the Republicans. This isn't the GOP. I'm just saying, in future, I'm trying to feel. What I'm getting is that Republicans, they will start making a resurgence. More traditional Republican, just more conservative people. It will start. Once they start embracing technology, and it says eventually they will, they'll stop denying climate change, they'll stop. But once they start embracing technology, there will be a voice at the table for more conservative voices. But they will be conservative, not... They'll only start winning when they start being conservative and not extreme. I hope that makes sense. Yeah, but they're going to be amazing. There are amazing years ahead of us. The 2020s is going to be just phenomenal with innovation and technology and breakthroughs and paradigm shifts of how we view things. It's going to be just amazing and terrifying and terrible and wonderful, and it's going to be a big thing. Mostly it's going to be wonderful, but there's a lot of bad in there too, because it's going to go like extremes. Extremes cause problems. Extremes hurt people, but you can't just always sit in the middle. So until basically the Democratic Party is mushroom too big, and they're toast. Basically, the GOP's toast until the Democrats eventually their power it mushrooms too big, it gets too much, and the Republicans themselves. First of all, the stench of Trump is not quite as overpowering. Once that starts to fade just a little, at least, and the people who come back they're conservative, not these don't feel like the same. Like, these people feel like people I'd want to have a discussion with, because their idea of conservatism is not subjugating women and inequality, and it's more, well, wait a second, let's not necessarily use those technologies, freely. We need to rein that in. We need to be more conservative in how we go forward. We need to slow, let's slow things down and look at consequences. Let's have a discussion about, and that's going to be the big thing. Technology. What is going to happen with that? That's where they'll start repairing themselves. But they've got to. But for now, they're toast. They're toast. Yep, red cloak. Bye-bye. All right. But thank you so much for watching, and thank you so much to my patrons. I am so grateful for you, and for you watching and having, you've been so supportive and so kind to me over the last, year and a half that I've had a channel, and I cannot thank you enough. And your kindness has just added so much. I life happens, and I went through some bad things, and just always having this to come back to, and being able to say, having this productive thing to do, and then hearing back that maybe it's helped somebody, maybe I've been a reasonable voice to somebody, maybe I've made someone feel not so alone. That's huge. That's absolutely huge. It's I don't show my face. It's not about, I want the fame, or I want the money. This is, yeah. I would be happy if I was making minimum wage from doing this, but I want to share, and I want to help, and I'm so grateful. So thank you. Seriously, thank you.